had this girl in an Airbnb. She was wearing a big t-shirt. She had her bonnet on and everything. They probably just got done screwing. Hey guys, welcome back to my channel. It's your girl Liallure and I'm back at it again with another video. If you are new here, hey girl, hey, my name is Leah. I make videos, story times, hauls. I do a little bit of this, a little bit of that. So it's like for the kids, you know the vibes. And if you're a returning subscriber, hey friend, how are you? I hope you're doing wonderful, fabulous, beautiful, amazing. If you are new here, make sure you hit that subscribe button, like and comment, turn on your post notifications so you never miss a story time, because I try to be consistent. Yeah, so happy Storytime Sunday, you guys. It is Storytime Sunday, everybody's favorite day of the week, and I'm back with another one because my life is a mess. It's a mess, but you know, y'all love it, and I have stories to tell y'all because it's in shambles. Anyway, so this story time is going to be about my toxic relationship. And you know, if you are not new here, you're probably thinking, well, Leah, how many toxic relationships have you been in? Because it's starting to feel like you're the problem. It's starting to feel like you're the issue. And I'm not gonna lie to you, sometimes I sit there and I wonder, like, am I the drama? Is it me?
Is it me? Am I the drama? I don't think I'm the drama. Maybe I am. Am I the villain? I don't think I'm the villain.
But it's not, okay? I've talked to my therapist about this. I've talked to God about this. Like, I've consulted some people, and it's not me. I've just drawn some toxic people in my life, okay? So it's not me. I'm not the problem. I'm just here to tell y'all the story. Now, quick disclaimer before I get started. If you are the type of person that has a short attention span and you want me to just get to the point, this is not the story for you. You might as well click off. And the reason for this is because I was in a relationship with this person for 3 years. So it wasn't just one occurrence that made this a toxic situation. It was several occurrences for a span of 3 years. So I can't just get to the point because there are more than one point to be made, you know what I mean? All right, with that being said, let's get started. So background on how I met this person. We're gonna call him Dwayne because that's what I called him in other story times. So Dwayne and I went to the same high school together, but we didn't know each other at the time. The high school I went to was legitimately only one floor in a high school building. So when you have a school that small, like, obviously you see the same faces every day, whether or not you know their names or who they are, what grade they're in or whatever, you see the same people every single day, right? I would see Dwayne a lot, maybe not every day, but I would see him a lot. He hung around the same group of people and I would see him in passing. No big deal. We never spoke to each other. That was that. Fast forward a few years later, I think in 2016. Yeah. In 2016, I was dating this guy and we're gonna call him G.I. Joe. Now, G.I. Joe is not gonna get much details in the story time because he has his own story time coming. When, I don't know, but he has his own story time coming, and that one is gonna be a doozy. That one is gonna be a lot. But we're not gonna give too much information on G.I. Joe in this story time. Just know that in 2016, I was dating this guy and we're gonna call him G.I. Joe. G.I. Joe and I were in a very serious relationship. I was constantly posting about him and us on social media. Anytime I went to go visit him, I would post pictures of us together and say like it's date night or whatever, you know what I mean? I say this to say that my relationship was very public. Anybody who had me on social media knew that I was in a relationship and they knew who I was in a relationship with. Now one day I get a follow from Dwayne. I looked at his picture, I looked at his profile, and instantly I knew who he was. Like, yes, I went to school with this person. You know what they say, you never forget a face. So when I saw him, I knew who he was instantly. I accepted it, no big deal, right? I didn't assume he would ever say anything to me. Fast forward a few months later, G.I. Joe and I break up. When G.I. Joe and I broke up, I was wrecked. When I tell you I was an emotional disaster, I was in shambles. I was in shambles every single day for weeks on end, bro. I was not okay. I was not all right. And that's because G.I. Joe and I were in such a serious relationship that when we broke up, it really broke me. This is not who I am now, so I don't want to hear no comments, oh my god, you were so childish. Yeah, I was. And what about it? Anyway, like, we all do stupid shit when we're young. So back to what I was saying. When G.I. Joe and I broke up, I was talking a lot of shit on Twitter. I was like, niggas ain't shit. I hate niggas. I hate niggas. I hate niggas. Like, I was really running my mouth on Twitter. Like, I was going through. I was using Twitter as a diary, which is like something I don't recommend anyone doing, but that's the way I felt that I could get my feelings out at the time. So obviously, because everybody knew I was in a relationship with this guy, if I'm now talking about niggas ain't shit, I hate niggas, clearly me and this man broke up. It doesn't take a genius to figure that information out. So here comes Dwayne, slowly creeping in. Anything I tweeted, he would like it. Literally anything I tweeted. Whether it was about G.I. Joe or not, he would like it. If I said I'm going to walk my refrigerator, he would like it. If I said I'm taking my turtle to the car wash, he would like it. It really didn't matter. If I tweeted it, he would like it, and quickly. Now, ladies or anybody, you know when somebody's trying to get your attention on social media. If somebody wants to get your attention, all they do is like all your posts. That's literally it. They like all your posts until they could get your attention, or until they could get the strength to send you a DM, right? So I knew the DM was coming, but I really didn't care because, like I said, I'm in emotional distress. Like, I really don't care who's trying to holler at me. I don't care. Now, months later, I get a DM finally from Dwayne, and I'm gonna read it to you. Oh, here it goes. So he said, hey, I'm sure you don't remember me, but I think we went to the same high school. He said our high school name, and then he said, I think I graduated a year before you. Anyway, I'm not used to doing this because I don't want to be that typical nigga, but I gotta say you're really freaking pretty. Just needed to get that off my chest, LOL. I responded and I said, hi, no, I remember you. I think you used to hang out with, I said some people. And then after that, I was like, oh, thank you. I noticed that you were liking a lot of my posts and was wondering why, LOL. He said, nah, I never hung out with them, blah, 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 blah. I actually was agreeing with the things that you were posting, but I didn't want to come off as creepy. So that's how our conversation started. After this, we literally just kept talking for like, I think it was like a week or two. Okay, let me clarify a timeline for you guys. G.I. Joe and I broke up at the end of August. In September, I was talking shit every single day on Twitter about my ex. In October, Dwayne hit me up and tried to talk to me. So there was like a full month in between the time me and G.I. Joe broke up to when Dwayne tried to talk to me. Here's the first thing I did wrong, because I did a lot of things wrong in this relationship, but this is the thing that I did wrong to start off with. Dwayne wanted to come visit me because at the time I was in school in Syracuse. It was my junior year of college, so he wanted to come visit me. I should have said no.
Sometimes you have to learn to be by yourself and build. Get to know yourself. Be by yourself. Rest your front. Rest your brain. Rest your body.
Because at that point it was kind of just like a sneaky link, you know what I mean? Like, he never really had an intention to take me out on a proper date. He just wanted to come see me because we had been talking so often, like literally every single hour on the hour we were texting each other. And if we weren't texting each other, it's because he was doing something at work or I was in class or something like that. So because we were talking so frequently, obviously like we grew more and more feelings for each other. Mind you, I'm still grieving the loss of my relationship, so I'm really not like, my head is not really like, oh yeah, I'm about to get a new man. It's really not like that. At this point, I'm looking for a distraction. And Dwayne knew I was looking for a distraction because he knew that I was just out of a relationship. Like, you know what I mean? So I shouldn't have agreed to this, but I did let him come visit me in Syracuse. There's nothing really much to say about that except he came to visit me. I showed him around the campus, gave him a tour. We went to get some insomnia cookies. He took me downtown because he drove at the time. So he took me downtown. We went to get some food or whatever, but it was never like a date. It was never like a real formal date, like let me take you out type of thing. And the only other thing to mention about that is that when Dwayne met me in person, again after so many years, like he kept mentioning how he thought that I was thicker. If you guys didn't notice, I used to be very, very, very skinny. Literally for most of my life I was about 113 pounds, and then after a while I started to gain weight, right? So at that time I still was very, very thin. So when Dwayne met me, he was like,
oh, I thought you were much thicker, like you look thicker from your pictures.
He kept mentioning it. I really didn't like it because it made me feel super insecure. I had already felt insecure about my weight. The last thing I needed was for a guy who starts talking to me to keep mentioning how skinny I am. It just did not make me feel good at all. But that's that. Now, fast forward a few weeks later, I go back home to New York City because it's Thanksgiving break. At this point, I'm home. Dwayne is in Brooklyn, of course. And so I'm hitting him up and I'm like, yo, you never really took me out on a proper date. When are you gonna take me out on a date? Because I'm the type of girl that needs to be courted. Because I was so hurt and so distressed and upset before, I allowed him to come visit me on like a sneaky link type shit, but I really needed him to take me out on a date to see if he cared about me. So he took me out on a date reluctantly. I really don't think he wanted to, but he took me anyway. We went to the movies. There's not much to say about that. Typical date. Now, after this, things started to go downhill quickly. When I say quickly, I mean fast. I mean fast. That motherfucker crashed and burned so quickly, I literally couldn't even blink before I knew what was going on. Bruh, the next month was December, and in December, I got sick. I'm not gonna give you guys any personal details about what I was going through, but just know that I was sick and I needed to be hospitalized. So I'm in Syracuse in a hospital bed fighting for my damn life at this point. And I'm like, you know, I'm hospitalized because they're trying to figure out if I need surgery the next morning or whatever. My mom couldn't come see me because she had work and like whatever. And I was telling her like, no, it's okay. Like, it's fine. I can handle it. I'm good by myself, whatever. So that was that. But I'm talking to Dwayne and I'm like, can you come see me? Can you come stay with me? Like, I'm scared. I need emotional support. Like, I'm really going through it at this point, right? And Dwayne is like,
no,
I can't come see you. I gotta go to work. Now, that might seem like, what's the big deal, sis? He had to go to work. You can't stop the man from getting his money. But the reason I was like, about the situation is because Dwayne would literally lie about anything. When it came to getting out of work, he would have an excuse. It really didn't matter who he had to throw in the ring of fire. He would give an excuse for it. Somebody was sick. Somebody was going through this. Family emergency. Car broke down. He always had an excuse on deck. He would get out of work for no reason. So the fact that he didn't want to come see me was like, I guess. But again, here's what was an immediate red flag to me, right? Because I was just his girlfriend newly, like we weren't in a relationship for that long, literally a month maybe. I wasn't really pressed about it, and I didn't expect him to just drop everything to come see me and to come support me. Like, I was just like, I understand, it's not a big deal, it's fine. However, I completely expected him to at least be there for me emotionally or mentally. I expected him to at least be on the phone with me, FaceTime me a little bit, be checking with me, see what's going on, see what the doctor said, you know what I mean? I'm your partner. You really not gonna make sure I'm straight? This man ghosted me, bro. And I'm not even being dramatic when I say this. He goes after the conversation we had, and I said, can you come see me? He said, no, I gotta go to work. And I was like, okay, I understand, no problem. This man stopped speaking to me. He literally didn't say anything to me at all. Now, mind you, even though he didn't talk to me, every single snap that I posted, he would be the first person to watch that shit. If I posted a snap right now, 5 seconds later, Dwayne would be the first person to watch that shit. Why are you watching my snaps and you're not answering my text messages? You're not returning my FaceTime calls. You're not returning my phone calls. You don't give a damn about me. You left me for dead. You don't care. But you watching my snaps? It's getting weird. Now, I was in this like medical situation for like, I want to say 2 weeks. And in the 2 weeks that I was in that situation, Dwayne, again, not speaking to me, didn't say anything, didn't check in on me once. Not once. Not a single time, right? So Dwayne is not saying anything to me, but he's watching all my snaps like weirdo. So after that, I went to St. Lucia for the holidays. So I go to St. Lucia, I'm with my family, I'm happy to be alive, I'm happy to be well, I'm glad that my medical situation is behind me, like I'm straight, you know what I'm saying? New Year's Eve, I'm in St. Lucia, I'm getting ready to go to a party. I get a snap from Dwayne.
Hey, just wanted to say Happy New Year. I just wanted to say I'm really sorry about what happened for the past few weeks. I know I should have been speaking to you. I'm sorry I ghosted you, but I really wasn't mentally prepared to deal with your situation. I'm sorry I did that to you. You really didn't deserve it. I feel like a f***ed up person.
Literally just going off, giving me a story. This man is monologuing in my snaps because he feels bad about what he did to me. You feel bad? You were scared? You were scared about what I was going through when all I needed from you was emotional support? Are you stupid? So he's saying all of this, and I'm the type of person that, like, if I don't want to deal with a situation right now, I'm just gonna say okay and I'm gonna let it go. So when he said all of that to me, I was like, okay, I understand, cool, that's it. I get back from St. Lucia, I get back to New York, and Dwayne is beating down my phone. He's texting me, he's calling me, he's trying to take me out. I'm like, no, you can't get in, you can't take me out. What do you mean? So this man, he calls me and he's like, listen, like, I'm outside. I'm like, the f you mean? What you mean you outside? What you mean you outside? So he pulled up to my house. He pulled up on me. Pulled up to my house so I could talk to him. I went outside. I heard him out. I listened to everything he had to say. So again, he's giving me this whole big story about how he's sorry or whatever. And I'm like, okay. Then he says, can I take you out on a date? I'm like, I don't know. But he talks me into it so much that I'm like, all right, whatever. I'll let you take me out on an apology date. It's fine. So me and Dwayne got back together.
Idiot, yeah.
Now, after me and Dwayne got back together, this man wasted no time at all playing in my face. When I tell you no time, he wasted no time. It was immediately go for him. One day we're in the car because we went out on a lot of dates. We went to the movies a lot. We went to go out to eat and stuff like that. We were always out. But when I say always out, he would only see me once a week. Even though we lived in Brooklyn, he would only see me once a week. So the times that he could see me, we would go out to eat or we would go out to the movies and stuff like that. So on our way back home, he stops at my house and we're sitting parked in front of my building. We're just talking, chit-chatting before I go upstairs and he leaves. So I hear his phone go off. It's like the Snapchat like tone or whatever, and I'm like, oh, who's snapping you? Who's snapping you? Mind you, joking completely. It's a key. I'm kidding, teasing him, but I'm just joking. So I'm like, who's snapping you? Who's snapping you? I'm right here. Like, I'm the only person that should be snapping you. I got a smile on my face. I'm not being serious. He was like,
oh, it's just a group chat.
You cannot trick me. You cannot trick me.
it's always the group chat. So I'm like, oh, it's the group chat, what y'all talking about? He's like, mind your business, why are you in my business, da. He seems like he's joking too, so I'm not taking it seriously. But then after that, I keep teasing him, and I'm like, why you never post me on your social media? Why you never post me on your Instagram? You never post me on your Snap? You don't think I'm pretty? You don't want to show everybody what you're working with? Why you never post me? This man looked me in the face and said,
I don't do the social media shit.
okay, a lot of people don't publicize their relationship on social media. That's not weird at all. That's fine. So I was like, oh, you don't do the social media shit? Like, you just using that as a cop-out, da. You just want to keep me away from your other bitches so they don't know that you have a girlfriend. He was like,
Why are you being so annoying?
I'm joking. I am joking around, and you're taking this seriously. When I tell you this conversation went from 0 to 100 so freaking fast, it went from me teasing this man to us having a full-on blowout in the car because he wanted to take it seriously, and he wanted to make sure that I knew that he was never gonna post me on his social media. Now, mind you, I was irritated about this because, for one, my last relationship was completely publicized. I posted every single thing about me and my last boyfriend, and when our relationship ended, I told myself I would never, ever do that again. So I had no intention on posting you, Dwayne, on social media. So I didn't expect him to post me either. Like, it was not that serious. I was joking. But this man took it far. He took it to another level. He's yelling at me.
I'm not gonna post you. You have your own phone. If you want to post yourself on social media, use your own phone to post yourself on your own Instagram.
He's going off. And I'm like, all right, okay. Have y'all ever heard that if somebody gets offended or if they overreact to something, that means that there's some truth to the situation? I made a mental note of that shit. I wrote a mental note and I packed it away in my brain. I said, bet. Because one thing about me, I'm not gonna let a situation drag on, but I'm gonna make a mental note of everything you've ever said to me and how you reacted in a situation. Moving forward, of course, he was doing some stupid shit. Later on, the social media nonsense starts. I start seeing he's talking to a lot of women on Twitter. First woman that I had an issue with, we're gonna call her Crimson. We're gonna call her Cece for short. So I see that he's over there messaging Cece. Like, Cece, anything that he would tweet, Cece would quote it and be like, oh, why you didn't respond to my DM? Are you online right now? Like, we could play on Twitch, da. She seemed like one of his streamer game friends. So at first, I really didn't pay any attention to it, but then it continued to happen. And it would happen under the most like random tweets. Like, it would have nothing to do with video games. And she would just be dick eating the whole time. So I hit him up about it and I was like, yo, who is this girl? Like, why is she always under your tweets? Like, what is this about? Is this a fan? Like, what's going on? He was like,
oh, this is somebody that I know from my online community of gamer friends. I never met her before. She just be flirting with me and my friends, da, but I'm not interested in her.
So I'm like, okay, I'm like, cool, no problem. But then it kept happening with this girl and I was like, yeah, now you're gonna have to dead that, because immediately, no, I'm not gonna deal with it. So he was like, oh, it's not that serious. Why are you making such a big deal out of it? Long story short, he was basically trying to argue me down, telling me it was not a big deal, that I was the one dragging the situation. So I'm like, either you listen to me in this situation or we're gonna have a problem, because if this girl is not that big of a deal to you, you should have no problem letting her go. If I feel disrespected in my relationship, you should listen to that as your partner. I would never, ever let somebody talk to me on social media and let you feel disrespected by another man, ever. So have the same courtesy for me. So then after that, he was like, okay, I guess. So after like the third time of me talking to him about it, he finally just stopped talking to her in that moment. The next situation that happened was this random girl. Remember how I told y'all when he first tried to get my attention, he would constantly like all my tweets. It really didn't matter. He told me himself he was liking all my tweets, right? That's how he would get my attention. He started doing the same thing to another girl. Because of what the conversation was in the car and the fact that he said, I'm never gonna post you on social media, he started to make me feel a little bit insecure. I started to feel like he was hiding some shit. So I started doing some investigation. And I'm not the type of woman that does stuff like that. So the fact that he even made me get out of character really should have been another red flag for me, but it wasn't at all. If your man ever makes you feel like you need to be watching what he's doing, reading his text messages, going through his likes, going through his DMs, going through his mentions, if you feel like you need to take that step to make sure he's not stepping out on you, then you need to leave that relationship. Because I did not trust him and he gave me a reason to not trust him. Anyway, So he's liking this girl's tweets. Every single thing she tweets, he likes it. Pictures, oh man, every single picture this girl tweeted, he would like every single one, bro. Every single picture. It really didn't matter what it was of. He would like every single picture. Again, she's tweeting mad fucking random obscure shit. He would like that shit. Oh hey y'all, I'm painting my toenails purple today. Like, hey y'all, I just robbed a church. Like he would literally like every single tweet that she would tweet. So alarms start going off in my head because my women's intuition is telling me he's trying to talk to this bitch. He's trying to talk to this bitch. So I press him about it and I'm like, what is this? Like, what is this? So he's like,
oh, it's not that big of a deal. Why are you dragging it?
He's basically trying to tell me that I'm doing too much, essentially. And I'm like, no, I'm not. Because when we started dating each other, you were doing the same exact thing to me.
You cannot trick me.
So how come now you telling me that I'm making shit up in my head? That's not making sense. So he's telling me it's not a big deal, I'm dragging it, whatever. I just let that shit go. I just let it go. But I did notice that he still kept on liking this girl's tweets. So I'm like, whatever, that's fine. Weeks later, this man is doing it to yet another person. He's a repeat offender. What happened with that situation was one day I was at school and I was in a meeting for my organization, right? I'm in a meeting for my organization and I'm supposed to be paying attention. And the reason I wasn't paying attention is because Dwayne had completely gone missing that day. Now, mind you, again, he works, he has a job. So if he goes missing for like 8 hours, it's not that big of a deal because I think the man is working. I'm not really pressing him, no, nothing like that. But from the time he started work to the time he ended work, it kept going. Like he was gone for like 10-12 hours. I'm like, what the is this? What is going on? And my first reaction was not that he's doing something sneaky. My first reaction was my man is at the back of a Mexican produce truck, chopped up in a bunch of pieces and is being sent to the cartel. That was my first thought. My first thought is always some negative end of the world apocalyptic shit, okay? And if I care about you, I love you, you're my partner, I'm gonna want to make sure you're safe at all points. So if you don't text me for a few hours, you better check in and say, hey babe, I'm cool, I'm safe, just letting you know I'm busy right now, I'll talk to you later. All right, cool, no problem, talk to you later, that's fine, as long as I know you're safe. But the fact is, he was gone for like 12 hours and I had no idea where this man was. So I'm over here bugging. My head is reeling. I can't pay attention to shit in this meeting. I was basically confused because I didn't know where he was and I started to panic because I'm like, I don't know where my man is. I want to make sure he's okay. I'm texting this man. I'm double texting him, triple texting him. I'm like, where are you? Are you okay? Are you good? Like, you don't have to send me a voice note. You don't have to call me. Just let me know you're cool. Just send me back one text message and tell me you're fine. I don't get no message from this man at all. So now I'm really starting to panic because it's like an hour goes by, 2 hours goes by, and I still don't hear from him. Now we're at like 13 hours, I don't hear from him. I start to investigate and I'm like, well, if he has any activity on Instagram or if he has any activity on Twitter, at least I know he's alive and he's okay. I go on Twitter because that's the site of where he does all his nonsense. So I go on Twitter and I look through his likes and his mentions and stuff like that, and he had only liked one post, but the thing was tweeted at, let's say, I think it was Bleacher Report. They had tweeted something at like 12 p.m. on the dot. And at the time that I was trying to make sure he was okay, it was like 4 p.m. So he had liked the thing that was tweeted at 12 p.m. So I knew that he was awake within that time frame. So I'm like, okay, so why isn't he texting me back? If he has time to roll over, pick up his phone and go on Twitter, why doesn't he have time to pick up the phone and say, hey babe, I'm good, don't worry about it? Interesting. So now I'm going through his likes. Since I'm already here, right? Since I'm already here, I might as well just go through his likes. So I'm going through his likes, and again, here he is embarrassing me, bro. He's still talking to Crimson Chin. He's still liking the girl who he was like liking all her tweets and stuff like that. He's still liking every single one of her tweets, all her pictures, all of that. But that's not even the worst part, bro. That's not even the worst part. The worst part of this situation is what I came up after. After scrolling for like 10 minutes, this is the shit that really blew mine. There was like this D-list celebrity that this man was obsessed with, right? And we all have celebrity crushes, so it's not a big deal. Like, I'm not gonna press you about that. But he was obsessed with this girl. He would always talk to me about her, and I'm like, okay, yeah. As I'm scrolling through this man's likes and mentions, I'm seeing that he's tweeting the thirstiest shit to this woman. He's literally telling her, like, she had tweeted something about like, oh, I need to take a nap. He was like, oh, I have a bed for you to take a nap in. What? I'm pussy? Okay. Literally tweeting the thirstiest shit. She is posting pictures of her in her like anchor woman, weather woman, freaking business woman dress, okay, in the studio or whatever, and he's quoting it, hard eyes, the water droplets emojis, just thirsty ass shit, and I want to throw up. I want to throw up because this is my man, and my man is on Twitter being a thirst bucket. My man is on Twitter being parched. He's being parched. He's on his knees for water at this point. Why are you embarrassing me? Doesn't make any sense at all.
And honestly, if somebody is posting like thirsty stuff publicly on social media to somebody else, you really have to wonder what they're doing in private, honestly. Because if you could post this in front of my face, I wonder what you're doing behind my back.
So now I have passed the point of me being worried about your safety, and now I want to fight. Immediately, no. Immediately, no. So now I'm like, oh, word, like this is what we doing. I go back and I screenshot every single thing he was doing. When I say everything, I mean everything. I screenshotted him liking the same girl's tweets. I screenshotted him still talking to Crimson Chin, and I screenshotted every single thirsty shit he said to this weather woman. And I was like, you know what? You think you funny? I'm hilarious. Don't ever try to play yourself. So an hour later, he's like, hey babe, sorry, I was asleep. I was like, oh, how was your nap? He was like,
It was good. I'm really tired. That overnight really took a lot out of me. I'm exhausted. This, that.
okay, like, oh, so you got enough sleep?
Yeah. I got enough sleep.
So I was like, why didn't you text me back? He was like,
oh, because I was just in and out of sleep. So every time I would open my eyes for a little bit, like I didn't have enough energy to text you back.
I was like, oh, but you like that Bleacher Report tweet though. So how come you didn't? In the same energy you got to open Twitter, you could have opened your text messages and be like, I'm straight. But you didn't. He was like,
don't drag it. It's not that serious. Like I just rolled over and instinctively opened Twitter instead of my text messages.
I'm like, okay, no problem. That's fine. So I said, while I was looking for you, I found some things. I would like to share them with you. This nigga gonna say, LOL, what now? Okay. I literally sent him every single screenshot I had. It was screenshot after screenshot after screenshot. I was sending that shit so fast. I'm pretty sure his phone was overheating. And I'm like, what the is this? He was like, oh, you're dragging it. It's not that serious. And so I'm like, you're talking to Crimson Chin. You're still liking this girl's tweets. And the icing on top of the cake is the fact that you're literally being thirsty in front of my face on Twitter. What is this about? He starts giving me all these long stories.
It's not that serious. LOL, you're dragging it.
You know when a man is guilty when all they have to say is LOL, you're dragging it. If I'm dragging it so much, why don't you have an explanation? It can't just be LOL. It can't just be LOL, right? So he's like, oh, you're doing too much, da 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 da. So I'm like, you know what, nigga, you. Like, it's really, you're a clown, and I see that you're a clown. But who was the bigger clown? Me, because I stayed with him. Me. It was me. Bozo. Now I'm thinking the social media shit is like the worst that can happen, right? I'm like, there's no way this man could get any worse. There's just no way. Yeah, all right. So as the months and the weeks and stuff keeps going by, I'm noticing more red flags with him. One red flag in particular is that he never let me eat in his car. And I know that may not seem like a big deal because, like, you know, everybody has like respect for their cars and rules for their cars and stuff like that. At the end of the day, I'm not paying your car note. I don't make the rules, right? I don't make the rules. It's not that big of a deal. So he never let me eat in his car, but it was never an argument about it, right? Keep this in mind. Keep this shit in mind, okay? He never let me eat in his car. He never posted me on social media. Even though he said he doesn't do the social media shit, he was definitely sucking the fart out of his friends' assholes when it was their birthdays. If it was any one of his friends' birthdays, happy birthday, big bro. Oh my god, you know what's up. You know I love you. Da 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 da. We've been rocking since high school. But I never got any acknowledgement at all. He never even said I have a girlfriend. Anything like that on Twitter to make you think someone is in a relationship, nothing, nada. Seemed like a completely single man.
I know this is gonna sound childish to y'all. Y'all probably like, why are you pressed that this man won't let you eat in his car and that he won't post you on social media? But I promise this is important information to the story, and y'all will see why I mentioned it to begin with.
Next red flag, we split everything. When I say we split everything, every single thing. Like anytime we went out to eat, we split it. If we went out to the movies, I would buy the tickets, he would buy the food. Or he would buy the food and I would buy the tickets. Is that what I just said twice? Well, y'all get the point. Like, we would split shit. And at the point, it was like, okay, well, we're both young. None of us have businesses. We're not moguls. Like, I understand if he's not footing everything. I completely understand. I could put in some money. It's not that big of a deal. So that wasn't that big of a deal for me. But it was a lot of shit that I just overlooked. Like, we would go to Wendy's and I would want a 4 for $4. And this man would literally never pay for it. He wouldn't offer no nothing like that. He would make me pay for the 4 for $4 down to the 4 cents. He would never, like, he really didn't care if I was hungry at all. He would just leave me in the dust. It is what it is. Like, you gonna have to feed yourself, sis. basically. He also had a lot of misogynistic tendencies, so anytime I would say like, oh, I like this outfit, or I want to wear this skirt or something like that, he would be like, you always want to wear some hoe shit, you always want to wear sock shit, da da da. If you've ever met me, you know that I am not the person to wear anything skimpy, scandalous, or revealing. I am not that girl. Now, I have very long legs. I am 5'7". I have long legs. That's not something I can help. Is it my fault every skirt looks short on me? I don't think so. Am I allowed to wear a skirt? Absolutely. But this man, even when it was my birthday and I said like, oh, this is what I want to wear for my birthday, he would be like, you always want to wear some hoe shit, da da da. One time we got into a really big argument because he basically called me a slut. Like, I'm not even basically, he called me a whore. He called me a slut because I wanted to wear a dress. Unacceptable. Mind you, this whole time he's sucking a fart out of these Instagram models' asses when they're wearing the same exact shit that I wanted to wear, or even shorter and skimpier. But when they do it, it's okay. But when I do it, hell nah. All right, cool. There was a point where I started to gain weight. Remember how I told y'all when I met him I was very skinny? There was a point where I started to gain weight, and I gained a lot of weight, and I started to feel like kind of insecure about my weight a little bit because I kind of felt like an imposter in my own body. He would make jokes all the time about how much weight I was gaining. Some of it was like innocent and I would laugh back too, but there were sometimes he would literally call me a pig. Like he verbally called me a pig. This is not something I'm making up. Called me a pig. Said I was that fat. He called me a pig. And I kind of just brushed it off, but that's not something I should have brushed off. My man right now, no matter what I look like, how much weight I gain, how much weight I lose, he will tell me I am the most beautiful woman on the planet, and he loves me. That one called me fat when I was skinny, told me that I was too skinny, thought that I was way thicker, never dated a girl as skinny as me. I ain't got no booty, I ain't got no chest, I ain't got nothing. Like, it was always something about my body. Always. I was literally doing everything in my power for this man to make him happy. Like, if I could do it, I would do it. Like, that's really not a conversation to be had. One year for Christmas, he wanted a virtual reality set, and I got it for him. And I sent it to his house. No problem. That shit was like $400. I'm in college. I don't have no money, bro. I'm literally spending the last of my money on you. I ain't got no bread. You don't even want to buy me a 4 for $4, and I'm spending $400 on a VR set for you. He wanted to start a YouTube channel. I literally was hunting down people on my campus to do graphics for him and logos for his channels, banners, everything like that. Like, he had me playing manager for this YouTube channel he wanted to start, and I got nothing in return. He never said thank you, no nothing like that. It was just sick. The amount of shit I let slide because of this man was just sickening. It was sick. Now, fast forward, right, in my senior year of college. I don't remember what happened in particular, but I broke up with him. I broke up with him because I think I just had enough of his nonsense. Like, I had enough of him not really caring about me and not showing any interest in who I am as a person. And it kind of felt like the relationship was definitely a 60-40, 60 on my end, 40 on his end. And so I kind of just got fed up and I was like, you know what? I'm done here. I'm done. So I broke up with him. 7 days. 7 days. 7 days after I broke up with this man, he was posting another girl on Snapchat.
I know you lying, bitch.
And you might be like, well, that could have been his friend, that could have been his sister, that could have been anybody. No, it wasn't. That was his whole girlfriend. This man had this girl in an Airbnb. She was wearing a big t-shirt. She had her bonnet on and everything. They probably just got done screwing. You know what I mean? Like, literally, that was his girl. In the video, the first video, he's like,
oh, babe, you mad at me?
and she's like looking away and she's like clearly like irritated with him or whatever. He's like, oh, babe, you mad at me? He's over there giggling, snickering, laughing. I kiki, no girlfriend, who this? Like, this man is posting this girl's face very clearly on Snapchat. And I'm like, what the f is this?
Wait a damn minute. What
the f is this? For so many reasons, I was confused. The first reason is because we had just broken up 7 days ago. 7 days ago, we just broke up. When in the time that we broke up to now did you get a girlfriend?
Because I know some of y'all don't like to put context clues together and you just like to say negative things. This is not the same situation as me talking to Dwayne after G.I. Joe and I broke up. When G.I. Joe broke up, it was at the end of August. Dwayne and I didn't start talking to each other until October and didn't officially date until November. So there was ample time between my breakup to when I started talking to Dwayne. Dwayne, however, took only 7 days to get another girlfriend, which means what? He was cheating already.
You known this girl so well and for so long that when we broke up, you immediately got a girlfriend. Immediately. Son's not adding up. Son's not adding up. So I'm over there and I'm really looking at the snap and I'm like, this nigga think I'm pussy. That's number one. Literally, this man, I'm like sitting there watching this man post this girl on Snapchat. I remember I was sitting on the edge of my bed. It was a Saturday and I was looking at my phone in disbelief. I really couldn't believe what the I was seeing. I was like, I know you're lying. I know you are lying to me. I'm watching this man kiki with this girl. Her face is very clearly in the camera. So I go on to the next snap and what do I see? Him and this girl in the car at Sonic. And what is she doing in the car? Eating. She's eating. This girl is eating in his car. Remember how I just told y'all he would never let me eat in his car at all. This man would never let me eat even a French fry in his car. So you let this girl eat in I don't want to keep repeating this, but I don't think y'all understand how hot I was when I found out this information. Like, we broke up 7 days ago. You just got a girlfriend. You took her to her Airbnb. You're posting her on social media. You're letting this girl eat in your car. Crazy. It's really just bananas in my head. And at that point, I knew this nigga hated me. I knew that he did not like me. I knew he didn't like me. Because how is it that you did all the things that you said you would never do for me? You would never post me. You would never let me eat in your car. You would never get me food. Because at some point in the video with the Sonic, he was like, are you glad I got you food? You never did these things for me and you told me that you would never do them for me. 7 days later, you're doing them for another woman. If anything, bruh, it was hurtful as hell. I was so hurt when I saw that because at that point, I knew that it wasn't because he wasn't a good boyfriend, it's that he simply didn't want to be a good boyfriend to me. And that brings me to another lesson. If a man is not doing something for you that you want him to do, if it's something small, an act of kindness, just the way he treats you, it's not because he doesn't know how to do it. It's because he doesn't want to do it for you. He doesn't want to do it for you. This man didn't even want to move $4 out his wallet to get me a 4 for $4. Yeah. So when I saw that, I was like, wow, that's crazy. So immediately I go into Snap in the messages and you would think that I blacked on him, but I didn't. At that point, I think I was just so hurt and it was like a light bulb went off in my head that I just wasn't gonna argue with him. So instead what I did was I opened up Snap, I opened up our conversation and I was like, wow, that's crazy. 7 days after we broke up, you immediately start talking to another girl. Interesting. Not only is that interesting, but you're letting her eat in your car. You're posting her on social media. You're buying her food. Are you serious right now? So he was like, oh, it's not even like that, da 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 da. I'm asking him how he knows this girl because if we just broke up 7 days ago, you must have known this girl longer than that. And according to you, I knew all of your female friends. So that's not true because I ain't never seen or heard this name before. So he's telling me, oh, at the new job that he had, she used to walk by all the time. She's somebody who used to work with him when he had a job back in high school or whatever, and he hadn't seen her in a few years. So they reconnected as friends. Y'all reconnected as friends and you had her in an Airbnb 7 days later? Okay, sure. Okay. So he's giving me this bullshit about how they reconnected, they were just friends, and then when me and him broke up, they took the opportunity to get back together. You're lying. You were cheating on me this whole time. This whole entire time, you were probably linking with this girl. All the times that you didn't want to come see me, linking with this girl. All the times that you didn't want to answer my text messages, my calls, all of that, you were linking her. Yeah. So I'm like, you know what? I'm really not gonna go back and forth with you. You should probably just treat this girl better than you did me because you were a shit boyfriend. And that's the last thing I said to him for a few weeks. Now you would think that this is where the story ends, but unfortunately it does not end here. Yeah, it doesn't end here. I tolerated a lot of foolishness from this man. So fast forward to 2 months later, it's October, and I was going to Cornell's homecoming. My best friend Kelsey, who y'all have probably seen in my videos, she graduated from Cornell, and at the time the roommate that I had in college, her best friend also was friends with Kelsey. So basically what I'm saying is that our circles ran very tight. So it was my roommate's birthday and it was Cornell's homecoming that weekend. So I decided, and she was also gonna go to Cornell, so we went to Cornell. Not together, I went like a few days after her, but we were in the same spot is basically what I'm trying to say. So I'm on the bus to Ithaca and I get a text message and it's from my ex. This nigga want, hey. I said, hey, ... He was like,
oh, I just wanted to see how you're doing. I wanted to check in on you.
I'm like, why are you texting me? He was like,
oh, I just noticed that I haven't seen you on social media in a while. I haven't seen you on Snap. I haven't seen you on Instagram. So I was just wondering if you were okay.
I said, I'm fine. You haven't seen me because I blocked you. He was like,
oh, why'd you block me? Like, I didn't.
This man really didn't know why I blocked him. Do you think I want to see you and your new girlfriend on social media? The girlfriend you got 7 days after we broke up, the girlfriend that you clearly cheated on me with? Do you think I want to see her in my face on social media? No, you're getting blocked. I hit you with the block. Like, what are you talking about? No, we are not friends.
Oh, now that's how you clear a bitch.
So I was like, yeah, I blocked you. What about it? He was like,
oh, I really didn't know. Just so you know, me and the girl aren't together anymore.
I was like, okay, what am I gonna do with this information? So he was like, oh, I'm just letting you know. I said, okay, cool, that's fine. So after that, I closed out the text message. I'm on my way to Ithaca. I'm on my way to have fun with my friend. Okay, I get there. I'm with Kelsey. We're having fun. We're going out to games and stuff like that. We're seeing the fireworks. Like, it's real cool. You know what I'm saying? It's a different experience. Ivy League college. Cornell's like Hogwarts. I'm having a good time. I'm posting pictures, obviously, on Snapchat and on Instagram and stuff like that. I'll post a picture right here because I think I have some pictures from that weekend. But I'm posting pictures or whatever, and he's responding to my snaps. Not only is he watching every single one of them, but he's responding. He's like, oh, you look good. You look nice. Who you looking good for? Not you, like. So I'm like, I literally opened them and I would close them. And then after that, like, he kept sending me messages. I went to this cute party with Kelsey and her friends, and like, I was dancing or whatever, and Kelsey was recording it, and he was responding back like,
oh, that's how you giving it up. I see you having fun, blah, blah, blah.
Stop talking to me, bro. Stop talking to me. Stop talking to me. Go talk to your girlfriend, ex-girlfriend, whoever she is. So after that, like, I'm having fun. I don't want to talk to you. So fast forward, I get back to campus and it's like 2 weeks later. So it's like close to Thanksgiving break. And I remember this day so clearly. I remember exactly what I was wearing. I was wearing a black hoodie. I was wearing jeans. I got my backpack on and I'm crossing the Hall of Languages on the Syracuse campus and I'm going to Maxwell. I just can't make this up. Like, I just know this information. I'm walking across the quad and I'm about to go to a CSA meeting because I was leading one of the meetings. So I decided to head there early. As I'm walking, I get a call. It's Dwayne. Of course I didn't answer, because why are you calling me? Decline. A few minutes later, I get a text message. Hey, can we talk? I really need to talk to you right now. I'm just really not feeling well and I really want to talk to you. So I'm like, can this wait? Like, I'm about to do something. I'm very busy right now. He's like,
I mean, it can wait, but I just really like to talk to you as soon as possible.
So I get to the building that I'm supposed to, and because I was a few minutes late, I sit on a bench and I call him and I'm like, what's going on? So he's on the phone literally boo-hooing. This man is crying. He's like,
I'm really sorry about what happened between the two of us. I should have never broke up with you.
First of all, I broke up with you. I broke up with you. He was like,
I should have never broke up with you. You were a good woman. You were a great person. You really cared about me. You really loved me. You made sure I was okay. I can't believe I broke up with you and got with somebody who really didn't care about me. Somebody whose life was in shambles.
All this freaking nonsense this man is telling me. Long story short, I don't know this girl. I don't know her story, but because this is part of my story, I feel like I have the right to tell it. He was basically telling me how this girl had this whole drama with like her ex-boyfriend and how he was like mentally and emotionally abusive, this, that, and the third, how she wasn't mentally ready to be in a relationship with Dwayne and all of this. And I'm like, why the f is you telling me this? Is this supposed to make me feel better? The fact that you're calling up my phone because your new girlfriend has issues? It's the delusion of it all. It's the delusion. You're calling me to vent to me about your girlfriend when you were cheating on me with her. Why are you doing this? Let me tell you why he was doing this. Because he felt bad and he wanted me back. That's why he was doing that. So as he's on the phone with me and he's going off and he's crying and he's boo-booing, I'm like,
I feel so bad. Oh my God. Oh my God. Like, I broke up with you. I really shouldn't have. You're such a good woman. You're such a good person. I'm so sorry, Leah. I'm so sorry, Leah.
Boy, you. You. And get off my phone. So I'm listening to him talk to me, but at the end of it, I was just like, you know what? I have to go somewhere, so I'm gonna talk to you later. And I hung up the phone. Yep. Now, I really wish I could tell you that's the end of the story, but it's not. It gets worse.
Shout out to everybody. I had fun.